Okay, so if a is negative, what that means is if a is negative, then the distance between x then minus 0. Let's just say if a is negative, a could be like something like negative 2 is less than equal to negative 2. Does this make sense? So what I'm saying is if a is negative, then there is no solutions. Okay, I'm talking about the first case scenario here. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the first case scenario here. Then what happens if a is 0? If a is 0, then the distance between x and minus 0 is less than or equal to 0, right? Then what that means is, okay, I need to make another slide to explain this. If a is 0, then the distance between x and minus 0 is less than or equal to 0. So this is less than or equal to. What that means is you can just satisfy one part, okay? So you can just ignore less than part, the less than part, okay? That what that means is the distance between x and minus 0 is 0, right? Then in this case, x is 0, okay? Now, so generally we consider our a to be positive if a is positive. Okay, let me write down what happens if a is positive here. So if a is positive, then the distance between x and 0 should be less than a positive value. So now this is always a positive value, this is always a positive value. Now let's think about it. Then you have x here, right? X here. No, not x, sorry. You have 0 here. And the distance between x and 0 should be less than a. Doing the same thing, let's say a is here and negative a is here. Can our x be here? Then the distance between x and 0, let's say this distance here is x minus 0, right? And then this one over here is a. X minus 0 is greater than a, therefore x cannot be here. Therefore x should be in here. X should be here, here, here. X could be 0, right? But x can also be a, right? Now, in this case, can x be outside? Then what that means is the distance between x and 0, which is 0 minus x, right? 0 minus x is less than a, right? Less than a. Then can it be true? Can it be true? No, because no, it's greater than a. I'm sorry. It's greater than a, right? Because this here, let's say this is d, this is greater than this a. I'm talking about just an absolute value here, the distance, not negative a. Therefore, it is greater than this, therefore this doesn't work, so x cannot be here. Therefore, x should be here. Then the final answer is this, negative a all the way up to a. So a lot of people memorize the end result, okay? But I hope you to understand why this happens, okay? Now, okay, I have one more thing for you guys to consider. Here, let's think x minus 0, the distance between x minus 0 is less than 0. Does this make sense? In this case, there is no solution because this is distance, right? The least could x go is 0, right? 0 minus 0 cannot be less than 0, okay? All right, so now, this is the first thing that you want to memorize. So now, from now on, you can memorize this because you understand what's going on, right? Well, but if you prefer what I did here and keep doing that, it doesn't really matter because you will end up memorizing that, okay? So for example, then if you have something like this, x minus b is less than or equal to a, then what you can first say is that negative x minus b is stuck in between negative a and a, and then now you're adding b to every side, then you have negative a plus b is in between this. Therefore, the answer is this. Okay, so I'm adding another slide here. So you have something like x is greater than a. Okay, now in this case, if a is negative, does that make sense? Absolute value of a is greater than negative 2. In this case, x can be anything. Therefore, in this case, all solutions. Okay, what if a is 0? Then absolute value of x should be greater than or equal to 0, right? Then what is our solution? What it's saying is that the distance between x and 0 should be greater than 0. Then x could be 0. X could be 0, right? And then in this case also all solutions. But you need to differentiate between this and this. What this means is that the distance between x and 0 is greater than 0, not equal to. In this case, all solutions except 0, right? Because if this x was 0, then it should be this, right? But it only contains this, therefore it cannot be the case, okay? Now, then generally we consider a to be positive, right? Then the distance between 0 and x, right? 0 and x, therefore we gotta have a here and negative a here, and the distance between, and then x could be here, 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 and here. Then the distance between x and 0 here, in this case, is greater than a. Therefore, our x should be here, right? And then the distance between x and 0 should be greater than a, right? So therefore, our x should be here. Again, both of them, this and this they are qualified for solutions, right? Therefore, the answer is x should be less than negative a, or x should be greater or equal to a. Again, this could be given as x minus b is greater than a. Now, you can just put negative b here and negative b here and then simplify that, okay? I'm not going to do that. So this is the end of the video. This is all I have for you today, and I'm going to come back tomorrow for more problems. Okay, bye.